Hello guys, hello, I'm trying this again. It is Saturday morning for me. It is Friday for most of you. Most of you watching this, it's Friday, and what are you doing with your Friday? What are you doing with it? Is Friday for you a time when you just have some drinks, you relax, you watch TV, you veg out? What are you doing with your Friday, right? So, hello, how are you? So with Friday, is Friday a time where you make excuses to not do what you really want to do with your life? Yes? Is it excuse time? Are you celebrating excuses? That's what Friday can turn into for some of us. Yes? So do you use your Friday as a stepping stone or as an obstacle? Right? So you're on the East Coast. What are you doing in this moment right now? Are you doing something that's for your greater good? Or are you doing something that is to keep you exactly where you are right now, and exactly where you stand? If you're okay with being exactly where you are and not moving forward, keep doing what you're doing. More power to you. However, if you have a vision, and if you have goals for yourself, and if you want to improve the quality of your life, you cannot continue to do what you're doing right now. You must do more. You must do more. And this is why I talk about deliberacy, right? When Friday comes, when the weekend comes, it seems like such immediate gratification. Like if I could just let go of the week. My week was so terrible. If I could just let go of the week and just veg out. And then that becomes our immediate gratification, which becomes an excuse to not do the work and to continue to stay where we are in life. If that's what you want, then that's what you continue to do. But if you want something more, you must know. You must know, and you must demand from yourself, because you're not going to want to just do it. It's not going to just be something that you do easily, or else you would have done it already, right? You would have had it. You would have had it done already. You would have the money that you want. You would have the home that you want. You would have the relationships, the healthy relationships that you want. You would have the job that you want and the place of the company that you want. You would have it all already if you knew, or if you already did what you knew you were supposed to do. So it's not going to be easy. You have to be deliberate with what you want for yourself. But that's why you need to have that clear vision, right? So it's Friday night. Are your actions in this moment taking you toward the vision that you want? Or is it taking you more deeper into where you are right now? Right? So if you're here, I'm curious. Let me know. If you're watching it afterwards, let me know. I'm curious as to how many of you are deliberate in your actions. And you might be at the soup kitchen on your Friday night. You might be at the soup kitchen. You might be on your computer in tunnel vision, creation mode. And if that's, you do that, right? That's what you need to do. However, if you're spending your Friday night in just comfort, if you're spending your Friday night just relaxing. Hey, Kiva. Kiva said, I've been cleaning my phone. Useless contacts, other spaces in storage. Yes. Okay, cleaning your phone. Good. Useless contacts. Yes. Get rid of them. I love separation. Separation and elevation are so tied together. You need to separate in order to elevate, and getting rid of your contacts is a great way to do that. The people who are not taking you, right, on your trajectory where you need to go, right? Because you might be going a certain way, and that doorway is only the size for you. It's only you can get through. But if you're trying to take everybody else with you, you're not going to get through, right? And we get into the habit, right? So this Friday night thing can be a habit with these people who we just sort of end up with by default, because we either work with them, or because they're family, or because they're in these environments that we've been in for a long time. So then they become our environment, our group, right? Our circle, right? Our contacts. So reevaluating your contacts and the people, that's oh so important. That's exactly, your environment will breed your progress. And Samantha says journaling, and a little daydreaming. Yes, so journaling too. So journaling is not rewriting. Journaling is creating your future, right? The more you do it, it's literally getting into your subconscious. And if you guys don't know, I have a journaling course. It is $49 right now. $49. I'll put the link in the description later. But it's $49, and it's 30 different prompts that gets you into thinking what your fears are, what your excuses are, where you learned your excuses, all those types of things. And what do you actually want? Getting clear on what you want. So on this Friday night, back to this Friday night, I hope you are doing something deliberate to get you to that vision that you want, right? And even if your vision isn't clear, as long as you know it's not what I want right now, it's not what I have for my life right now, I need to do something different. So starting with the context is one, right? Making sure that the people around you on this Friday night are people, yes, I'm a huge proponent for journaling. Huge proponent for journaling. Samantha was the only one. Oh, Kiva, I think I saw you sign up for it, but I don't know if you tried to actually enter the room for the Transcending Shenanigans. I saw you signed up for it like during the time, but I don't know if you tried to come into the room. I wanted to ask you. That Samantha was there, and I gave her some specific journaling assignments, and she's doing those now. So the next one, I'll have another one next month, but you got to come in the room, and then we can talk together. Samantha says, "Me too. Not the best at it, but I'm getting better." Yeah, and that's the whole thing. You got to keep doing it. The more you do it, the better it gets. Just like driving a car, right? When we drive a car for the first time, we might have sucked at it. But the more you do it, it becomes subconscious, and you don't need to pay attention to the road anymore because it's in your subconscious, and you just do it. Things happen, right? So with you are going back to your Friday, right? Let's see the environment that we want to make for ourselves, right? Let's create this clarity right now. We'll do this with you guys who are on here. For what you want right now, what you have right now, take inventory of what's going on in your life right now in this moment, right? So I mean the job that you have, right? The place or chair that you are sitting in, right? The home that you're in, the friends that you're in, the neighborhood that you're in, the things that you do with your day right now. Take inventory of all those things, right? And then along with that, I want you to take inventory of the feelings that come along with those things, right? Is it frustration that comes along with your job? Is it, not feeling good enough that comes along with being around certain friends? Is it just feeling a void when you're in your own home? Maybe your spouse isn't necessarily the best, or maybe you live around certain people, or maybe you live by yourself and you just want more, right? Maybe you want some more love there, right? So take inventory of the things that you have in your life right now, and then the feelings that come along with that, and then think about how you want to feel. How you want to feel, and the things that need to be in your life to make you feel that way. Right? So if you want to have more respect, right? If you want to have more of an impact and more presence when you walk into a room, right? And if you want to be comfortable and confident with yourself, what will that entail from you that you're not doing right now, right? The things that are on this side here, what's missing over here to get to what you need to do over here, right? Is it actually respecting yourself, maybe, right? If you take a look at your relationships, I said this yesterday, if you take a look at your relationships and how people treat you is an indication of how you feel about yourself, right? So maybe you need to start loving on yourself a little bit more. Maybe you need to have more confidence in yourself. Do you want a different job, right? Do you want a job that pays you more? Do you want a job where your opinion matters more, right? What do you need to then do? Do you need to talk to do you need to say what you need? Do you need to talk to your boss? Do you need to just look for another job? Right? Do you need to just look? Do you need to put in your notice? Do you need to put in your notice and say, this is what I'm not doing anymore? This is what I will not tolerate, right? When we don't have that clear vision, then we tolerate certain things because we're not sure what we should be tolerating, what we shouldn't, because the vision isn't clear. It's not crystal clear like a ball, right? So, or in this vision, are you sitting in the home that you're in right now? Or in this vision, are you in another country, right? Do you travel a lot in another vision? What needs to happen, right? So again, I get a little personal for myself. I found on this side for me, I was in an office over 8 hours a day. Wah, wah, wah. I didn't like that, right? But it was normal to me. So what I won't get into right now are the beliefs that we have. But it was normal for me to have a job, right? It was normal for me to go to work, even if I didn't want to, or if I didn't like what I was doing, even if I wasn't being respected, right? It was just like a job that's supposed to happen. It's normal, right? So that was what was happening in my environment. I was in an okay neighborhood, but I wanted to see more. I wanted to travel. I was in like in Philly. I was in Philly, right? So a concrete jungle, right? So, but now I live in Vietnam, right? So over here, so I had these things going on over here, and I had a good amount of friends, right? I was close with some coworkers, but their mindsets and my mindset wasn't jiving too well. I wanted somebody that was going to help me thrive and challenge me more toward the trajectory that I wanted to go, not toward theirs, right? So, for example, one who was really close with me, I told her I wanted to move to Asia, and she says things like, "Yes, you can." Which part can you relate to, Kiva? So I told her that I wanted to move to Asia, and she says to me, "Well, what? Why do you want to do that?" And she's like, you won't feel as if you wasted your education, or like you wasted money on your education because you're not using it, right? So, and that's where her mind was, right? So her mind was worried about education and college and, I guess, status, right? Not looking a certain way. I didn't give a fuck about that shit. I just knew I needed to experience life on my own terms, not just the way I've grown up, right? Because I grew up thinking college is this way. I have student loans. Yes, I do. And I had this idea of wanting to have a great job and but that's not, essentially, I was me on somebody else's mission, right? It was me on someone else's mission, but for myself and for what I wanted. Regina wanted to travel. That's how I grow, right? So I found myself in this space where it's just like something's missing. I want more, but what is it? Like, I have the degrees, I have the job, I have a good home, I have a good boyfriend, now husband. What's missing? And it's growth, right? Spirit is calling, the universe is calling me to say, listen here, you're doing great. And now what's the next step, bro? Like, what's the next step? What you gonna do? I mean, you good over here. What are you doing next? And for some people, that next might be scary. But for me, that next was necessary. Like, so what I wound up doing was one of my other beliefs was I would never quit my job without another one lined up. What I wound up doing was quitting my job without another one lined up, because my discomfort was more of a priority than staying in the conditions that I was raised in by society, right? So I put in my notice. I tried a bunch of different jobs and said, which one would I do this? And once I moved to Asia, actually moved to Vietnam, then I had such clarity in my mind about, oh, this is what I can do. This is what I want, right? I'm still helping people. I'm still doing therapy in my own way, but it's not based on the conditions and the restrictions that society was put on me. Samantha says, everyone has their own opinions of how to live your life, but your own opinion is what brings you true life. Yes, like what is aligned with you is going to be what you need to do. Like, that's what you're being called to do for some reason, right? So in society, we're all conditioned to conform to something. From when we're young, we're conditioned to just conform and be the same. But we all need something different. So then when we grow up and we're all doing the same shit, we're thinking, why aren't I happy? Why is everybody in the same situation? Why is everybody so depressed in life? Why is everybody so anxious? Why is everybody so angry? Right? You can't be angry when you're in a space of gratitude, but you can't be in a space of gratitude where you don't know or don't have anything to be thankful for, because you don't have anything that you asked for, anything that you really wanted. Everything that you wanted, everything that you have, is something that was more pressed upon you, or something that you thought you wanted, something that you were taught. If you get this, then you'll be happy. But then you get it and you're not happy. And Kiva says, working in the office, the same routine, ritual-like. Yes, the mindset, condescending, unspoken rules, culture, to name a few. Yes. Listen, this passive-aggressive stuff in the offices, I was like, what is happening? Why can't people just say what's happening? Why can't people just say what's happening? I don't understand. It was just like everybody was so tight and rigid walking around, right? And it's just things were subjective. The whole culture is just not something that breeds itself to individuality, to your spiritual growth, to your personal growth, and that's all we need, right? So I don't know if you guys believe this or not, but I believe that we are spirits having this temporary human experience, right? But we are so powerful, and to be in an office with people who have to do the same thing and who have to carry the same mindset, no. Like, that's not at all. That's not what I'm gonna do with my life. Maybe y'all okay with that, but not for me. Kiva said, I love working white collar corporate America, but I always knew and held on to there's more to life than this. Motherfucking exactly. That's exactly. So when I write my copy and things, it's like, there's more to life. There's more to life, right? So I'm sitting here now, and so I was in a home, right, row home. Philly got all those row homes, and I had like a small view. If I look far away in the distance, I could see the sunset sometimes, right? Now I'm on a 22nd floor in a high-rise building. I got a beautiful view of the Saigon River, a great city skyline, and I'm eye level with the sky, right? So, and all I had to do was face this fear or face this thing that didn't make sense to me, right? Because my ego was too big to say I was scared. My ego was too big to say I was scared. It was like, oh, that doesn't make sense, right? So that's another thing. Really check. You really gotta check our egos as to why aren't we doing something, right? So when I had to face this fear of quitting my job without one lined up, I had to face my fear of booking this one-way ticket to Vietnam and not knowing what I'm getting myself into. But that's where growth happens. That's where growth happens, right? Yes. Hey, now. Yes. That's what's happening now for me. And you have to have a vision, right? So even me now, my vision wasn't as clear as I would have liked it to be, because I didn't know I could create this easily. I didn't know how easy it was to create. I've always been manifesting things by accident, but I didn't know how easy it was. So my vision was sort of like, but it wasn't really clear. So I got what I wanted, but my limiting beliefs that I didn't even know I had, because my ego was just too big, they stopped me from actually getting the full picture, right? From getting exactly what I wanted, right? But I still, now there's so much space in my head, right? Now there's so much clarity. So what I do now is why it's so important to me for what I do now is taking women to the next step, right? When you feel stuck, because I felt stuck and stagnated, right? Mentally, physically, right? Like literally, I would be in the meetings and staring out the window. It's like I want to escape, right? I feel when you feel stuck, you don't know which next step to take, right? We work through that. We just work through all that, because it's nothing but conditional, like societal conditioning that's stopping you, and fear, right? That we might disguise as practicality, right? It's not realistic to think I can just do this. Yes, it is, right? The realistic things keep you in what's known and what's already happened, but you want to do things that hasn't happened yet for yourself, so you can't keep basing your future off of your past, right? Joe Dispenza, my man, he says your brain is either a record of the past or a map of the future. So which one, right? So going back to this Friday that we're doing here, what are you doing on your Friday? Is it one that's keeping you in the stagnation that you're in, or is it one that's clarifying this vision that you want and you need for yourself to make shit happen? You have to then go toward the fear, and you have to go toward your discomfort, and you have to do the things that you feel don't make sense to get the things that are going to make you feel good and get the things that are going to make you feel aligned, right? And sometimes we go through life, let me just get through this week, let me just get through that week, let me just get through this week, and then at the end of the week, it's like it's the end of the world, at the end of your life, and you just want to like release and relief, but you can't do that. You have to keep working. You have to be deliberate with every action that you take. Life is just a conglomeration of choices, and you are constantly choosing. You're not choosing to do something that you should be doing. You're choosing to do something that you should not be doing. Kiva said, was there a culture shock? As one would imagine, food acceptance culture, also linguistics. Vietnam, so I live in Ho Chi Minh City. And Ho Chi Minh is like the New York of Vietnam, right? Not of Asia, but like the New York of Vietnam. So English, as long as you're in the city, like everybody speaks English. If you go out to restaurants, the menus are in English and in Vietnamese. And I live in a place, D2, Italian. I live in a place where it's sort of geared toward Westerners and expats. But even going outside of that, like in the like center of the city where everything is big, it's both English and Vietnamese. And even though like the war and stuff happened, you think that they had like some resentment, but it's mainly they really idolize the Western culture, right? So the biggest thing for me is being Black. Right, so I didn't get a lot of the like some people say like they touch you and all this. I didn't get a lot of that stuff, but they definitely stare. They definitely stare. So initially coming from America, being Black, right? That's like somebody staring at you because of your race. You get angry, or just me. I got my homeostasis was conditioned to be angry, right? And I'm okay with that. So Regina got angry immediately. Regina was like staring back, like doing just all that other shit to raise my blood pressure up that it's just not necessary, right? So, which is also a great thing. Is why I think, universe brought me here to say you are more than just your race, right? You are more than just your gender. You are more than just an American. You know what I mean? Like you are this infinite fucking being in spirit, and do that rather than be what you're conditioned to be, and do that rather than what your physical appearance tells you are. You know what I mean? Be who you truly are rather than who you are conditioned to be, or rather than what someone tells you are by how they respond to you, right? Because if somebody responds to me in a way because I'm Black, then that's me allowing them to reinforce that I'm Black, so I have to be a certain way, right? So don't respond. So I've taught not to respond to that, right? And in the same token, so I was going through the whole spiritual awakening stuff over here, and I was saying I want to grow beyond my race. I want to grow beyond just who I am. And like within the next week, I met somebody who did blackface. I met a young lady from the Netherlands who did blackface, and I said, "Universe." I asked. I didn't think he was going to give it to me right now like this. So there was such I had to take a moment. And that I got to have the experience that I wanted, and I was called to then not respond the same way I normally would, right? So being here, yes, there's culture shock, but there's also a lot of culture growth, right? That must happen, because like I had the option to either grow into what I'm asking for or maintain in the same space where I've been conditioned, right? So and food, so the food is I'm not a big fan of Vietnamese food. I never was when I came over here, but again, because we live in a place where it's a lot of what is geared toward Westerners, we got like a Buffalo Wild Wings, we got Popeyes, we got like, it's a bunch of shenanigans food here too, but there's also really good places. So you could literally just go on vacation here. It's cool. So yeah. So that's my Friday talk, right? What are you doing with your Friday? Cultural growth. I love that. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Because you're from New Zealand. You're from New Zealand and came over here to America. Yeah. Culture growth. Yeah. Culture shock. It can be culture shock or culture growth, right? Culture shock is going to have you stuck and stagnated, or you can grow from that shit, because nothing has to keep you stuck, right? You always, life is a culmination of choices, right? So with your Friday, yes, I did. I said Popeyes. Yes, there's Popeyes. There's like a Texas Chicken in the mall next to us. There's there's a bunch of stuff. Or there's Krispy Kreme. No, I think the Krispy Kreme might just be in the airport. But there's a lot of stuff here. Starbucks. It's not it's cool. It's cool. It's just like another city. It's like a bigger Philadelphia to me with more people. Most of the people are Asian or Vietnamese. But it's definitely growth depending on where you come from. So because I already came from a city, it wasn't like I didn't know. But if I had come from a small town, then it would be like, oh, I see Asian people speaking French. Or, I'm in Vietnam, but all the Asian people don't speak Vietnamese. You know what I mean? Man, they didn't even have a Popeyes in New Zealand. Exactly. So, like Vietnam and Ho Chi Minh, it's quite developed, right? But we don't know that because we don't get out and see that stuff, right? And so that's all my body and mind and spirit is calling for, is that growth. Go out and see. And that's why my vision was like, I don't even give a fuck where I go. I just don't want to be here anymore. Like, I don't care what the lesson is. Just give me something. Because what I'm getting right now, I'm not getting anything. And for some people, that's cool. For some people, that safety and that routine and that monotony is copacetic. For me, it was not. Like for some people it's okay, but for me, I needed more, and I knew that my soul was saying something is missing. Go find it. Go find it. And luckily, I have a husband, right, he was my boyfriend at the time. So speaking of going after what you want, right, and having faith over fear, in 6 months, from January to June, right, no, we left July. So within 6 months, I quit my job. I left my job. I tried like 6 different streams of income. I got a TEFL certification so I can teach overseas. I got a yoga certification, which was a lot of work. I got engaged and married and then moved out of the country, right, in 6 months. So for somebody who is stuck, or not even stuck, if you're comfortable, if you just want to be comfortable, right, everything I'm saying isn't going to be for you. Right? Then you can be comfortable. Because you don't have to be deliberate when you're comfortable. You don't have to think when you're comfortable. It's just, you just do, right? You're just there. But when you're called to do something more, and when you know you want more for yourself, when you know that there is more out there and you need to see it, you need to experience it so that you can then share that shit, right? You can share it with your family, you can share it down the line. You can share it with other human beings. Like, this is not, the world doesn't have to be the way that we're taught it has to be. Right? We don't have to go into debt with student loans. We don't have to have the White House or the white picket fence and the house and the dogs and stuff if you don't want to. You don't even have to have kids if you don't want to, right? And so this is take inventory again of what you want, what you think you want. And then what's in your vision, right? So in my course, Vision to Mission, the first thing I have you do is get your vision and your values straight. What your vision and what your values are, right? Because if what you value isn't in your life right now, you're not going to be happy. There's going to be a dissonance. There's going to be a conflict between how you feel if you're not living out some part of your values in your day, right? So that's one of the first things we do. I'm going to give you guys another part of what we do. And of course, the second part is look at what the vision that you think you have for yourself. And if that vision doesn't include your values, you need to rework it. You need to rework it, because some of us have visions that we were taught or conditioned to have. You know, I want the job with the 401k, right? That's what I want, the 401k. And can I get a promotion? I want a promotion. I want all these things in this vision, but this shit don't matter. It doesn't matter. All I want people to know is this stuff don't matter. This stuff doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Unless you want it to, right? Because if that's what you value, if you value routine, and if you value safety, and if you value monotony, then keep doing what you're doing. However, if you value growth, if you value personal spiritual growth, if you value self-empowerment, if you value spiritual evolution and authentic expression, being able to really authentically express who you are, you have to know who you are first, right? And then feel safe enough to express it. So if that's what you value, then be deliberate with what you do on your days off, on your Friday, your Saturday, your Sunday. What are you doing today that's in line with your values? That's what I want to say. That's what I came to say. So, any other questions or comments, ladies? If there's nothing else, I'm going to end here. And if you haven't already, join the Facebook group in the workspace. Join my Facebook group in the workspace, and I will let me know if you're interested in the journaling course too, because that is like that's a great start, right? It's a great start to figure out what's happening inside of you and what you need to do in order to get to where you need to be, right? That's the first steps. So, he said, God has been making me so uncomfortable. It's not funny. That is a sign, and go toward your discomfort, right? So I used to teach pole dancing, right? And we would do like our warm-ups and stuff, and I would say to them, right, to get them stronger, I would say to them, so go here, we would be doing something diagonal, and I would say, find the most uncomfortable spot and stay there. Find the most uncomfortable spot and stay there. That's all you need to do. Like, that's how growth happens. Right? That's how progress happens. Like, people are so, I don't know why people want to be comfortable all the time. He restored my mind, body, health, and soul to realign. Oh, where'd it go? He restored my mind, body, health, and soul to realign me back with my purpose. Yes. What is your purpose? I'm curious. What is your purpose? What is that purpose of yours? I like that you know that. What is your purpose? And Kiva, I want to say, have you made, so this purpose, let's say that's your vision, have you made your vision your mission? Right? Have you made your vision your mission? If not, what's stopping you? What is in your way? I'm curious. You've piqued my interest. What is your purpose? So, as you type that in, I'll just keep talking. Regina will keep talking about, I'll talk about the course, this Vision Mission course, because that is what I'm asking about. Your purpose. I wonder how much of your values are in your purpose. So just thinking about you right now, Kiva, I would tell you to journal about what will happen if you do not go forward and if you do not go through and follow through with your purpose, right? That's where you want to settle in that discomfort. What if you do not follow through? So if God's making you uncomfortable, how would it feel to get to go through life and knowing that you didn't actually go through on or do everything that you could in order to make that purpose come to fruition, right? My accent? I forgot I have an accent. Okay. It's not the regular American accent? Yeah. My vision purpose is advocacy. Okay, for who? For who? Advocacy for whom? Like for kids, for adults, for women, for, abused women, for people who are just confused, through creative expression. Ooh. Oh, I like that. I like that. Okay. All right. I have more questions for you. All right. So like, is this your mission right now? Have you made this your mission to do, your mission to experience, your mission to share, your mission to exude, your mission to, are you creatively expressing yourself right now? Yeah. So these are just all things that pop into my mind, right? So this is what I do when I work with people. So I guess I can work with you guys right now. You're here. Traumatized individual. Oh, okay. Creative expression. Yeah, that helps. It's great seeing kids do it, right? But I think it's also greater to see adults do it because it's harder for them to make that adjustment in their head. And when they actually do it, it's like, ooh, right? But the flip side with kids, you completely change their whole life because they have the whole life ahead of them. Yeah. So I'm wondering, how do you do that? Are you doing that by yourself? Are you doing that with like a residential? Are you doing that with a therapeutic organization? I'm curious. You know, I worked as a therapist for 10 years and worked with all types of individuals, every population you could think of, from sex offenders to traumatized children living in residentials, eating disorders, yeah, all those things. And creative expression is very needed because that is what stops us from growing or continuing to grow. All ages, because sometimes ages and development varies. Yes. Okay. Cool. Creative expression. Great. Is that the area that you're working in right now, or is that something that you're working on independently by yourself? Is that the white collar job you were talking about? I wonder. Yeah. As if it's not, I wonder how much more powerful it could be if you did this in a way that was most authentic to yourself. You know, organizations can be really restrictive in how they reach out to people, which can be really frustrating when we have a calling, right? When we want to do it our way, and we know that our way is best, and our way has spirit coming through it rather than insurance or the need to be in certain bounds and make money. I have a degree in fine arts. Good. Okay. Yeah. I wonder how you do. I wonder. Oh my gosh, I have so many questions. I won't keep us on here though. But so again, like the next steps, I wonder about your next steps and how you're going to get that out there and what the vision actually looks like for yourself. So you say your vision is advocacy, but what? So in thinking about journaling on, dropping into the feeling of what is your day to day, but work mostly in an office and social service. Okay. So, office, car, social service. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So we probably were, if we were in the same city, we probably would have run into each other at some point in time. Yeah. So I wonder, I would ask for you, Kiva, what I want you to do is really drop into the feeling and drop into CSR, Child Service Representative, what does CSR stand for? We maybe had different acronyms in PA. But what I want you to do is I want you to drop into the feeling of this advocacy of creative expression, right? So what is the fullest expression of that for yourself? Like, what is the fullest expression of what you want that to be? What is the mission that you want? What do you want everybody to know, say, and feel about creative expression? What do you want to put them through? What kind of services would you provide? What would your day-to-day look like, right? Would you have a big facility where people come? Would you do something online where, you move with people? Or do you have was it a dance studio? Like, how do you do this? And what feeling does it give you when you are actually doing this to the greatest expression that you can? Like, how much money are you making with this? What kind of impact? Like, give yourself specific stories, create specific stories of impact that you want to create, right? To really drop into the feeling of what it would feel like to be able to have this and do this and be this and exude this, right? Customer service rep. Okay. Yeah. So get crystal clear on your vision, right? And use images in your vision. Don't just like write it out. Write it out, yes, a lot. But also have visuals. Because the mind remembers using visuals and images. So that's what you want to use for. And then when you can have that, when you can feel that, when you express that, when it becomes normalized for you, you then begin to attract and you begin to see the opportunities to make all that stuff happen for you. Right? And if you don't wait for the opportunities, you create the opportunities, right? Create them, do not wait for them. I wasn't until I had to face my own and realize through art, I was able to heal. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes. But it's so, it's so fucking simple. Everybody's sick. Everybody's sick and everybody's unhappy once they stop being a kid, right? When your body just slowly declines as we pile all these obligations on top of ourselves, as we pile all these beliefs that aren't even true on top of ourselves, as we pile all these things that we're supposed to be doing on top of ourselves. Yeah, it's definitely it's a process because we have to unlearn. We need to unlearn everything that we learned for 30, 40 years. Right? And it was a process learning all that stuff. And the thing is, what we learned is in our reality. So if we can see it, we completely believe it, right? And lack of evidence is an evidence of lack, right? Jake Ducey says that. So just because we don't see it in our reality doesn't mean that it's not true. But we've been conditioned to be realistic, be practical. But that's not how changes are made. That's not how you heal yourself. Kiva, if you don't know about Joe Dispenza, right? Go look up Joe Dispenza, Joe O-E, Dispenza, D-I-S-P-E-Z-A, Joe Dispenza, right? He broke his spine. He completely shattered, he was a chiropractor, he completely shattered his spine in a biking accident. And so what he does now is he marries together the science and the mystical, right? And he talks about meditation and the subconscious a lot. And what he did was just using his imagination and visualizing, fixing his spine, because the doctors told him that he wasn't going to walk again. The doctors told him, you do this really invasive surgery. He was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And this man is doing everything that he was doing before, right? But he went through a process in his mind. Just look up his story, right? Of how he healed himself. But everything that he did was against even what science says, right? Everything that he did was against what reality would be, right? But we can heal ourselves. We have all that power to heal ourselves. But we think we got to go to the doctor. But we think we need prescriptions. I was a people-pleasing perfectionist. Oh, Lord, no. Joe Dispenza, yes, perfect. No, there's a Z. There's a Z-A. But if you type that in, he would still come up. Yeah, but it's a Z-A at the end. Yes, people-pleasing perfectionist. I'm glad you're not that anymore. Because that's... When we tie our happiness, the first one with the Z, when we tie our happiness into other people's responses to us, into our environment, basically. When we tie our happiness into our environment, we become a slave to the environment, whether it's the person or the weather, you know what I mean, whatever it is. But when we tie our happiness into the environment, we become a slave to the environment, and we need some kind of outside validation or outside stimuli to create who we are inside, to tell us who we are inside. And that shit is bullshit. That's the complete opposite way of doing things. So I'm glad you're no longer a people-pleasing perfectionist. I like those three P's together, though. I found healing began in my mind first. Yes, and that's exactly what he talks about and how he did it. Doctor said he would never walk again, right? And there's so many stories like that. But people don't realize that we can do this ourselves. So look up his story, and there'll be a lot of stuff that comes up for him, but look up his story and just watch specifically if you can find how he talks about how he heals himself, right? Because all that shit about needing doctors to tell you something or that you'll never walk again, listen here, no. Just get back to what we do originally. So everybody's sick and everybody's unhappy because we go through life and then we completely integrate society's obligations and what they tell us about ourselves rather than what we know about ourselves and what we feel about ourselves. right? Rather than us deduct who we are, we then start to subtract it or get it from the outside world, and that creates bullshit, right? And then it's like, well, why aren't I happy? Because you don't know who you are, right? So I've been on here a while. I don't know how long I'm on here for. But I say all this to say, right? It's Friday night for a lot of you. What are you doing with that? Right? Are you healing yourself when you know you need to be healed, or are you just staying in your, hey, Kay, hey, you got to go back and watch this. You have to go back and watch all of this. There's some good conversation going on. We're just talking. It started with talking about what are you doing with your Friday, right? If you're on the East Coast, Friday night, Saturday morning for me, but what are you doing with your Friday night? Is it bringing you closer to your vision for yourself, right? Or is it keeping you almost an hour? Woo. All right. Is it keeping you in the stagnation of where you are, where you don't want to be? Right? Be deliberate, right? I say deliberate. I don't say intention, because intention is like, oh, I have intentions to do this. But are you doing it? No. I don't say purpose, because it's like, oh, my purpose is this, but what's actually happening? It doesn't matter what your purpose is, but what you're actually doing. That's why I say deliberate. Be deliberate with your thoughts. Be deliberate with your emotions, and be deliberate with your habits, right? I feel so good. I'm glad you feel inspired. Inspired, because that's where it starts, right? But it has to be in here. Don't be inspired by me. Inspire yourself. Like, learn whatever something that I'm doing is resonating with you, right? So figure out where and what in you is this resonating with, and deep dive into that some more, right? Deep dive into that some more, right? I make my money by working with people, and I don't want to work with people for the rest of their lives. Right? Some people say you want to have clients come all the time. I don't want you guys to rely on me. My whole purpose and my mission is to tell you, to show you, you can do this shit for yourself. Right? Right? Just like he said, you can heal. Healing starts from within. Right? So I'm just like a little outside stimuli that's positive and that's bringing you forward, more that you need to put in your environment versus what you might have in your environment now, telling you the regular run-of-the-mill shit, right? That society might just be conditioning you towards the things that they want you to go after. Society wants everybody to go after the degrees and the 401ks and the office and just being conformist, right? Be good human beings. But authentically, what do we want to express? Like, what is our soul calling to express? And that's what you need to dial into. And so long as you continue to do the shit you've been doing, you're not going to make it there, right? Kay said, I'm not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence I found you. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad my energy is beautiful. I'm glad. Okay, where are you at? I'm wondering, and Kiva, where are you at? I know Samantha's in Arkansas. Okay, where are you at? Because for me, what time is it here? That's what they tell me. It is, oh, sorry. There we go. For me, it's like 11 o'clock here, right? So 11 o'clock a.m. So, and I know on the East Coast, it's like 12 p.m. So, yes, I say all this to say, right? I'll repeat what I said in the beginning. I want to end with this at least. Take inventory of what's happening in your life right now, how that's making you feel. Compare that, cross-reference that to the things that you want in your life and this vision that you have for yourself. Make sure it's clear. Don't just have it be a vision of happiness. Don't just have it be a vision of helping people. Don't just have it be a vision of, oh, Illinois. Okay, Zion. Don't just have it be a vision of, being married. Like, be specific as possible with your vision, right? Okay, Samantha, okay. Be as specific as possible with your vision. And know what it is enough, right at it enough to where you can feel it. And it comes from within. And that's how it happens, right? So take inventory of what you got going on right now. Take inventory of what you need to have going on, and eliminate everything that that's not going to get you over here, right? And so if it's your Friday night, I'm glad you're on the house Friday night, right? But what are you doing with it, right? So I'm guessing you're not at work, right? So it's your time off at work. What were you doing before this? Right? Yeah, AM. Yeah. So what were you doing, and what do you need to be doing to get over here? What do you need to be doing to get to your vision? Make sure that you Put something in your day every day that's going to move you closer toward the vision that you need over here rather than the shit that you got going on already. Right? Okay, so for realsies this time, I'm going to leave. So again, Regina Nanamaker, creator of Vision to Mission, helping women get deliberate with their thoughts, their emotions, and their habits to create the life and the version of themselves that they want. Right? Deliberacy, not purpose, not intention. Be deliberate and make shit happen. Okay? Thank you guys. I love you guys so much for your comments. If you want to keep commenting, I'll just reply in the comments if there's something that you forgot. And again, if you want to do the journaling, because the journaling thing is 49, I think right now, but it's 30 prompts to really start digging into your subconscious so that you figure out how to get over your fears, what the fears are, what you learned from your parents, what you need to unlearn from your parents, right? All those things, right? What happens if nothing changes, right? What do you need to change? What do you actually like about yourself? So for some people, it's really hard. I'm going on a tangent again. Okay, I want to stop. Thanks. I will have a great day. It's my day. It's daytime for me. I will have a great day, and I will show you guys my view. Since I talked about a little bit about where I came from, I'm going to show you this view that I have. I love showing my view to you guys. And so this is what my just need to get out did for me. This is what my need for growth did for me. Not knowing how, when, or what I was going to do with it, but knowing that I needed to do something different. And I made decisions and I made choices deliberately, and I changed shit, right? So that's it, right? Isn't it? It is nice and it's beautiful, and it's what I was being called to create. I didn't know. You don't know exactly. You won't always know exactly which way you're being pulled. Kay says hi, Samantha. Yeah. So you won't always know which way you're being pulled, but you will know that there's something missing, right? And you will need to do whatever it is, figure out whatever that is to grow, right? What's missing is growth. So I'm going to end there, and I am going to I'm going to go live on this page 7:30 my time, so that means it will be 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday. You have to take the first step. Yes, the first step. Yes. The next step. You have, and even if you don't know what it is, right? So I talked. You got to go back and watch it. You got to go back and watch it. So yes, that next step, you got to take it off of faith and not fear. Yes. I'm glad you guys are. Yes. Good. You should all join the Facebook group, in the workspace. I'll invite all of you guys so that you can keep talking to each other and then see, because I drop things in there that are the unrealistic that people need. You know what I mean? The things that society won't really tell you is going to help you feel better about yourself. That society doesn't really tell you. These are things that can completely change the trajectory of your life, but because it doesn't seem realistic, because it doesn't seem like it's going to do anything. It's different than what we're taught, right? And it feels uncomfortable. It feels different, but that's what you need to go to, because everything that's comfortable for you has gotten you to where you are right now, and you don't want to be there. You don't want to be there. So, all right, I'm really going to end now. Again, I'm really going to end now. I like that you guys are talking to yourselves. To each other. All right, I'll reply to you guys' comments. I will invite you to the Facebook group, and 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday. I'm going to do Monday through Friday, but for you guys, I think that's Sunday. Either way. All right, adios. Love you guys.